national team coach for the women of Japan now. Loaded with a lot of backspin, that chop. Now, we did see a twiddle early in the rally. Honoka Hashimoto turning the racket around to make sure that when there's not a lot of rotation on the ball, she can generate the rotation she needs to stay defensive. So she used the inverted rubber, the black side. I think one thing that's often underestimated, the service of defenders. People think of them as being far from the table. They remember their very picturesque or video-esque chopping shots from behind the table, but their serves have to set them up. Outstanding rally from the two defensive players, both sides, of course. Only one shot more for the defenders in that rally. That's always all it takes. Makes it sound simple, but I can guarantee you there's a lot going into every single shot here. Had a chance to chat with a fellow commentator here in Austria, a little bit about table tennis and the chances here for both teams. And I think the only chance for the defenders from Japan is the fact that they have varying styles and they're playing a little bit younger, less experienced players. Generally, again, the top Chinese players eat choppers for breakfast. So it will be really on the shoulders, the responsibility, on the shoulders of the Japanese pair. Nice twiddle there, Honoka Hashimoto again. When she's in near the table, if she gets a push or not a heavy spin shot, she's going to use the black side of the racket to make sure she imparts a lot of spin, staying defensive.
Love 6.
And finally, a missed shot from the Japanese pairing. Hitomi Sato going for the counterattack. Nice wide placement from the Chinese pair. And this is smart. Both of the defenders on the Japanese side have that attack on the forehand. Serve comes long, it's inviting the opening attack. Honoka Hashimoto was there to take advantage. Swin Yingsha putting a bit of side spin on her top spin loop as well. Add to the bend and the confusion for the defender, Hitomi Sato. Loaded with spin once again. Ball drops out under the racket of Hitomi Sato. Sato trying to stay loose. Now we've seen 7-1 leads that have been recovered. And again, when you're dealing with some of the top Chinese players in the world, therefore the top players in the world, no lead is safe enough. CHEN Xingtong is really going to have to get her feet in position here. It's quite tricky against defenders. While yes, you have more time to hit the ball, it takes a lot more out of the legs. So the footwork is very important.
8-4.
I lost the ball for a minute in that rally. The second to last shot, I couldn't even tell what happened. Check it out here in the replay. Sato from way down low. Beautiful shot to the short side from CHEN Xingtong. This is a big point. If it becomes 8-5 suddenly, it really starts to feel like the nerves could settle in for the Japanese pair, and it's anybody's game. Right now, this is a very encouraging lead. Very patient play from the choppers. A few opportunities there where you started to feel like maybe there would be a twiddle and Sato would try to attack. From time to time, she will with the backhand. But from this angle, again, you have a very different sense of the trajectory of the ball, the distance from the table for the players. 11 to 4. Well, what do you know? Hitomi Sato and Honoka Hashimoto take the first game against CHEN Xingtong and Yingsha. It's a best of 5. We'll be back for game 2 right after this. Players come back for game number 2. It's the Japanese pair in the neon green and black leading 1-0. Now game 1, they won quite steadily, 11 points to 4. But again, the opponents on the other side, CHEN Xingtong now with the serve and Yingsha calling for what she would like so that she can get the third ball of her dreams.
Second game, CHEN to serve.
Now, of course, it'll be up to Hitomi Sato to change that and not allow Yingsha a solid third ball opportunity. Good placement here, deep into the backhand corner. Now the first ball from the long pip side of the racket doesn't have quite the rotation that it will off of a loop in a rally. Doesn't have the top spin coming in to work with. Yingsha makes the adjustment and CHEN Xingtong right down the line to finish it off. You can see that ball was a little bit more shallow, bounced quite inside the baseline there, allowing that angle from the Chinese pair. Very fluid forehand from Yingsha. Now between games, both teams have a minute to talk to their coaches. Xiao Zhan with a lot of experience, Chinese national team. Their program is unlike any other in the world. I say that to simply say that when they go back to the corner, you have to imagine their ability to adapt and to adjust, to come back with tactics and a game plan. It's going to be quite strong, their ability. First time I can recall seeing Honoka Hashimoto attack in this match. Just a little bit late, the ball had dropped. And again, that first chop off the long pip side of the racket. Even with that big cutting motion, that chop from Sato's backhand, still not as much on it. If it were the inverted side of the racket, or a chop later in the rally from the long pips against a loop. Oh, inside out forehand right off the bounce. Yingsha. This is Wang Liqin style right here, and it's still bending away. Watch one more time. Sato with the top spin to the middle of the table. Yingsha not allowing it to rise up. No reaction time left for the Japanese pair, and specifically Honoka Hashimoto. There was the big backhand from Hitomi Sato. She turned around as if to apologize to Hashimoto, as if to say, sorry I couldn't finish the point. With a quality backhand like that, just crazy to think any apologies necessary at all. And this time the adjustment is made. Wow, apologizing for the one before, saying I'll get it next time, and she changes it up for a parallel backhand rip. This is not her specialty. She's a defensive player. And with the backhand side of the racket, the twiddle and a finishing shot. Heavy topspin coming in. Honoka Hashimoto can't keep it down, takes it a little bit late, and it jumps up off the racket. Some of those slow spinny shots, unless you catch them at their peak or they sit up a little bit higher, very tough to counter. Oh, beautiful play right off the bounce. Swinging shot, recognized the opportunity. Topspin coming in, takes the angle quickly. Very steady block. CHEN Xingtong just waiting there. Sees the loop coming in. Doesn't have to do much. Second towel break of the game. And it's the Japanese pair that's stopped at 4 points right now, where they held their opponents in game 1. Chinese pair with double that already. A convincing lead here. Oh, break off the top of the net. Some fortune for the Japanese pair. And we saw this yesterday where someone let go of the racket. I think it might have been Fang Bo, and it went actually onto the table, but he wasn't holding the racket when he contacted the ball, so it didn't count.
6-8.
And for the many Chinese fans and table tennis fans around the world, in case you were curious what Fang Bo's yellow card was about, apparently kicking the barrier. I think the LED barrier, and then later on the door to the court. He apologized to the organizing committee though, and all was well.
6-9.
Now a 2-0 lead for the Japanese defensive pair would be huge in a best of 5. They've seen that this combination does not favor them so far, although of course some time with the coach could factor in.
9-7.
Good length on the serve. Shorter side of half long with top spin from the backhand to get the point outright.
9-7.
It's the umpire's way of saying please play.
10-7.
Fooled with the serve. With a kick and top spin on it. Jumping up. It's 3 game points for Chun and Swin. Contact completely missed there on the chop. Not what Hashimoto was hoping for. 11-7, the Chinese pair tie up the match. It's 1 game apiece, and we'll be back for game 3 right after this. Back for game number 3. The defensive pair has some work to do to figure out what it will take. This is the combination that favored them. The order of play. Honoka Hashimoto saying, I will be serving. Showing her name and back, of course, to the umpire so that it can be announced.
No time wasting. It's finished, okay?
We saw this a lot yesterday, especially with Wang Manyu. We'll have a chance to see later today, but there was a warning just now about no wasting time between points, no stalling.
1 love.
I guess wasting time is an interesting way to put it. Say using time for the Japanese pair, but for the others, not so much.
1-1.
Flatter attempt, Hitomi Sato just long, apologizing to Hashimoto. Oftentimes when defensive players do attack, they're hitting to finish the point, not get into a looping rally. What a point. This is outstanding. Hitomi Sato chopped with the forehand using long pips. She attacked early in the rally. Both defensive players had the attack. That was the long pips chop from the forehand. Didn't seem to bother the Chinese pair from right near the ground, the chop. And the backhand down the line off balance from Hashimoto to take the point.
Sweet 1.
Second time we've seen that twiddle. We've seen the attack on the backhand of Hashimoto. Japanese pair starting strong here, leading by 3 with their second serve. Fast long serve, side and top. CHEN Xingtong getting frozen up a bit, caught off guard with the speed and placement of this serve. Now in doubles, a lot of people professionally they know. But I think as spectators and sometimes not professionals, people think, well, the serve has to go cross court from the same side that you see it going here to the same side. But that's still half of the table to work with for placement. So it is really important, the specifics of the placement of the serve. You can still jam someone toward the middle of the table, and you can hear the gyos starting in the crowd from the Chinese supporters. Bit of fire here from Yingsha. Bit surprised. We haven't heard so much cheering from the crowd. I think the Chinese fans realize, you know what, we've got to really get in here and support our team. It's a tough start to the point. The Japanese pair again getting themselves back into play. Keeping the pressure on Yingsha, a bit out of position, but still manages to get that forehand back on the table. 3 points in a row for the Chinese pair. Still a 1 point lead for the Japanese. This is an excellent point. Both sides working so hard, but the patience and the focus from the Chinese pair really having to get their feet in position for every shot. Look at that. When do you see such a fast push against a chop? CHEN Xingtong quite creative there. Tied up 4 points in a row.
5-6.
So to take back a little momentum, the choppers get their lead back. It's still only by 1 point, as opposed to being up 5-1 like they were not too long ago. Good break there, Sato with a nice twiddle early on. Second towel break of the game, and only the Chinese pair going for the towels.
6-6.
How high that serve sits up. A little bit off the top of the net there, slows the ball down and leaves it in front of Hashimoto. Loaded with spin, Yingsha, instead of trying to go the opposite way, tries to keep it short down the line. Not a lot of margin for error. Sato's second serve. Beautiful placement right at the back of the table. Yingsha with not a lot of room. As we get into the business end of game 3. The Chinese pair right now with the uphill battle, looking to recover their deficit, turn the scoreboard around. Ooh, this was such a difficult angle. Hashimoto on the run deep to the backhand, manages just to scoop it back from below the table. Here's Sato. Now watch this one more time. Wider than the net, catches the top edge. A very valiant effort and fortunate break for the Japanese pair. Cracking shot, CHEN Xingtong. When do you hear a sound like that? So clean, so powerful, and so deep on the table. This is as smooth as can be. Oh, doesn't even finish the stroke. Just the abbreviated across the body slap shot. Looked like topspin Yingsha does not lift enough. 3 game points for the Japanese defensive pair. Choppers on the attack, the aggressive serve, heavy topspin deep to the forehand, and 11-7. It's a 2-1 lead for the top seeds from Japan. We'll see what happens. It's a best of 5 game 4 coming up right after this. Back for game number 4. Some little bows, the Honoka to the coaching staff. From the Japanese pair, of course. CHEN Xingtong trying to keep the arm loose. You saw her shaking it out there. It's easy to get tense when nerves get tight out here. Wow, this is a great point. Yingsha had that inside-out forehand once again, but the way Honoka Hashimoto handled the side spin, leaves the side spin on, floats it back up to the table to let the other side deal with it. But again, they were up to the task. Really outstanding play from CHEN Xingtong and Yingsha. Comes down. Sato has to turn her back to the table as it's hit right into the body. If this stays in play, watch how close to the line this one is, right near the net, slapped. Tries to get it back with the flat hit. This is the combination that favored the Chinese pairing. This is where they won 11-7 in game number 2.
Block 3.
Japanese pair has been quite effective with the long serves, but it was the other way around. Different order of play.
3-1.
Here we go, half long with underspin, and Sato gets the outright service point.
Three, 1.
That is the umpire's way of saying, please do not stall.
3-2.
Yingsha not happy about that. She says, nah, it's not right. Now, while Hitomi Sato's chops have long pips on the backhand side, so there's less variation of spin, she can still float the ball back a little bit. It's just going to be more visible, more clear to Yingsha.
4.
If this does go to a deciding 5th game, they will switch order of play when one team reaches 5 points. The Japanese pair really wants to get out of this match winning game 4 right here.
2-4.
Heavy chop, good placement, 1-point game. Heavy side and top, Sato taking the point from way behind the table. Rare do we see Yingsha look flustered. The fact that she missed this shot, it's not an easy ball. Tries to take it on the way up to the short side, the parallel shot. It's a lot of pressure. So dead even here in game 4. Tong with the serve. What an outstanding point once again. Quality shots right down the line from the choppers and the attackers. Backhand as deep as can be in that sort of last moment blocking effort. A little bit of a short stroke from CHEN Xingtong, but the placement was perfect to set up Yingsha.
4-6.
From below the table again, Hashimoto with some side spin right at the baseline, and CHEN Xingtong can't calibrate. Does not read exactly what spin is on this ball, understandably so. Looks like mostly side, but there's still some underspin on it. Hashimoto from down low tries to play parallel from under the table. Only have to lead by 2, only have to win by 2 points. A close loss still goes down as a loss.
Right, please. Time wasting. 7-6.
Ooh. Time wasting, a point was awarded to the other side. It's now 7 serving 6. That's a big point, especially right out. Both sides have yellow cards now. You saw the yellow-red on the scoreboard for the point awarded. I don't think we'll see so much talking between points now. Either side can afford it. The power, the flat hit on the step round. You could hear the cracking sound, that high-pitched flat hit, and I think we've got a timeout from Xiaojian.
Timeout.
And we do. You see him on his feet in a moment like that. It's not a coincidence. Still a 1-point lead for the Chinese pair at 8-7. They had been talking a lot and planning, and it's not like there was a lack of warning. I think the umpire had warned each side to play about 4 times throughout the match, give or take. So we will see. That adds to the pressure here to come into the point a little bit quicker. Against choppers, typically patience is quite important, and I think that's still true for these players, Yingsha and CHEN Xingtong. No shame in having a long rally. After all, the choppers are used to getting the ball back on the table, and they're used to people getting frustrated, impatient, trying to finish the point early. It's interesting to see the dynamics in the timeout of who's talking to whom. CHEN Xingtong offering some arguably what we would imagine sound advice to Yingsha. Despite the difference in world rankings, Yingsha world rank number 11, CHEN Xingtong world rank number 37. Although 4 years the senior, most of the advice, of course, coming from the most senior member of that huddle of 3, Xiaojian. That the music fades out.
7, 8.
And here we go back from the timeout. We'll see how the Chinese pairing at the top of the screen has changed their tactics. Fooled on the serve. Looked like topspin, looked like short topspin, but not a lot on it. Again, it's not how much spin is on the serve, but how difficult it is to read. Sometimes those empty serves are the most effective. Lead here. Again, big point back against the ropes for the Chinese pairing. Oh, break off the top of the net. This one hugs the other side, just scaling the back of the net. Maybe it's spelunking the back of the net, coming back down. Look how short this ball drops, comes right back into the net. Talk about fortune and timing. Very, very fortunate timing for the Japanese pair. Not so much for the pair in red. So now 2 serves on a side that's been very effective at winning points outright on serve. Slow spinny ball from Yingsha, very difficult to react to. Now, Honoka Hashimoto's shot actually hit the clamp of the net. If that comes back down on the other side of the table, it's still in play. But it does not, and we've got a timeout the other way. Interesting time for the timeout. Coach Mika Baba, I think, believes that with the serve, there can be an outright point here, and this can go to deuce, become alternating serves that she can save the match and take game 4. We've seen a variety of serves from long top side spin. Typically, defensive players like to serve with their backhand, twiddling the racket to use the inverted rubber for heavy spin on the ball. Remember, Coach Mika Baba right there is a 7-time national champion. So when it comes to wisdom and experience, she's got plenty of both. Not only that, she's the national team coach. Both of these choppers listening very intently here, playing for the same team, Mickey House team. See them in the practice hall with a few other of their teammates, Maki Hitomi, Saki Shibata, I believe. A lot of strong corporate teams leagues existing in Japan, in Korea, separately of course, but systems that have been around for a long time for professionals to play table tennis. So facing a game point here, second serve at 9-10.
9-10.
Sato with the serve. Whoa, deep on the table, Hashimoto's loop, and the follow-up loop from Sato takes the point. Service-wise, it was clear underspin, and it didn't seem to give the Japanese pair a huge advantage, but that high-arcing loop from Hashimoto pays off right at the baseline, and just missing the corner of the table, Yingsha cannot put it down. Deuce in game 4, Yingsha with the serve. Patient play. Honoka Hashimoto missing a shot, looked immediately down at her racket, was a bit surprised. Now, as someone who twiddles a lot in near the table, you almost wonder if she had been confused about what was on which side of the racket. That also seems pretty unlikely considering how often she twiddles and how important these points are. Game point to the Chinese pair. No, the ripping backhand goes just wide. Hitomi Sato with a bold and risky shot, and this time it does not pay off. That is how risk works. Sometimes you've got to take the chances, and not every time it's going to go in your favor. The Chinese pair escape and send it to game 5, the decider coming up right after this. Back for game number 5, you had a chance to see the president of the Austrian Table Tennis Association here, possibly Federation. We'll get that straightened out for you later. Either way, game 5, Honoka Hashimoto with the serve. Effort pays off. Yingsha rounding the corner with a huge stroke on the forehand to finish the point. And the level of play just continuing to escalate throughout this match. Flat shot down the middle from Sato. And it's the heavy topspin serve from Hashimoto that pays off. I think it's going to be very crucial right now for the Japanese pair to be the first to 5, and with a little bit of cushion. A 5-2 switch could be enough to take the match. Beautiful backhand twiddle and attack near the table, Hashimoto. Now, Hashimoto was on the losing end of one of the most spectacular matches, one of the biggest stories of this tournament, losing the 54-year-old Nisha Lien 16-18 in game 7 of the singles event. Nice patience, Yingsha waits to see where Sato goes and then plays it the other way. Even if it's just a little motion, Sato's gonna pick a side. Starts to hop just a step to the other side for the cross-court shot, and that's when Yingsha goes parallel. Apology from Sato, takes her time, has a good look at it for the backhand attack, still shaking the head positively. Now this is big in the Japanese women's program. The positivity between points, even when you lose a point. Get prepared for the next, come into it with a good positive attitude. Yingsha is really getting loose right now. First towel break of the game, and the reason I say it's so important for the Japanese pair to get to 5 first is this is the combination that they've won both of their games in, this order of play. When one team reaches 5 points,
4-2.
they will not only switch sides of the table, they will switch order of play to be the same as in games 2 and 4. But it's 5-2 the other way. CHEN Xingtong and Yingsha setting themselves up for success right now. They're coming into the order of play that favored them throughout the match. They're playing very loose, very focused loops here. From Yingsha's almost straight up loop, meaning the angle of the racket, the face was very open. She looped very high racket stroke.
5-2.
CHEN Xingtong countering back on top of the topspin. Thought that was well played from both sides. It was smart of the Japanese pair to get back into defensive play after a good 3 or 4 loops. But the next chop sailed just long, and now a 4-point lead. Outstanding play. The footwork from the Chinese pair at this point, we've talked about it throughout the tournament, how strong the footwork is and the physical fitness from the Chinese side and the Chinese National Association, but the counters from way behind the table. That's one of the best points we've seen this match. Absolutely mind-blowing playing here from Yingsha and CHEN Xingtong. Both sides are playing very high caliber of table tennis right now. But the scoreboard here in game 5 is quite clear. And immediately, the attack off the long serve. Honoka Hashimoto still looking for opportunities. This is not an easy serve to attack. Probably just long on the long side of half long. Aggressive play from the back of the table paid off there. The 7th seeds are 2 points away from taking down the top seed in the tournament. Second towel break of the game. I think everyone was so caught up in the moment they didn't realize for a moment. Werner Schlager, right there, 2003 world champion.
3-9.
Quite fascinating, enjoying it here with his family, both of his children, his partner. Kicking serve, catches the top edge of the racket. Werner Schlager was the last non-Chinese world champion 14 years ago. The question is, how long will it be until we see another non-Chinese world champion? Oh, fooled, caught up on one foot. Sato not able to move to the wide forehand wing. Excellent deception from the Chinese pairing. And now 6 championship points for CHEN Xingtong and Yingsha. And it goes wide. Yingsha and CHEN Xingtong, the high five and the hug from the young pair, 16 and 20. Yingsha and CHEN Xingtong take the title. Very impressive match. They have proved themselves under pressure, quite worthy of being here representing the most dominant nation that table tennis has ever known. The Chinese pair will stand on top of the podium later today and earn some points toward Kazakhstan, the World Tour. But from down 1-2, very impressive play. Would not be surprised to see a lot of points from this match in the top 10 at the end of this tournament. Don't forget, you can subscribe to the official ITTF YouTube channel for all the top 10 videos, other exciting interviews, and fun content, or the official ITTF Facebook page. There's the score on screen, saving Game 4 in deuce, only to dominate in Game 5. Stick around. We've got one more match coming up for doubles. It's the men's doubles final right after this.